Yes, YouTube, hope that you're good. It's Ben Hawks of At The Coach Consultant, and today I'm doing a step-by-step walkthrough of basically how I run a 7-figure business without burnout, right? This is not just about when to take weekends away or when to have holidays or when to have all that type of stuff. This is about making sure that you can stay in the game for good, in the best place possible, with the most innovation, with the most creativity, and overall just kind of be the director that you need to be for your team, for your clients, for yourself, and most importantly, your business. Because a lot of the time when you start to scale your company out, you'll start to see that in essence, there's part of it what starts to become a little bit of a prison if you don't make the right decisions, where you are stuck doing ridiculously long hours. Like, obviously the big narrative has always been like, look, I'm a massive believer that you have to work hard, you have to work long hours, but I also look at it from a perspective of this is not about me having to do all the hours anymore, because if I do that, then I'm the bottleneck, because I've only got so many hours in a day. And if I'm not focusing on the right things that I need to do for my business, then my clients aren't going to get the best version of me. My team isn't, myself, my family, or anyone. So I've done basically a step-by-step walkthrough of all these different avenues that I want you to be considering and thinking about when you are actually looking to scale. And if you're looking to kind of push it to multi-6 figures, 7 figures, multi-7 figures, 8 figures, like, this shit becomes even more important. So step number 1 is looking at delegation. So it's very, very easy to kind of look at this and go, well, yeah, obviously I know to need to delegate, but who do I delegate to? So I always basically look at this type of concept, and that is basically I need to stay in a genius zone, right? So my genius zone is going to be looking at the best things, what's going to get the best rewards for myself and my business, and most importantly, the type of stuff that I actually enjoy doing the most at the moment, right? So number 1 is going to be content creation, right? Number 2, which is going to be program development, and number 3, which is going to be basically looking at kind of networking, events, future investments, and overall kind of the next level innovation and growth for the company, alongside looking after my own team. But if I'm going to look at this as basically a 3-point pillar, right, and I'm a massive believer in the law of 3, that whatever role you are in, you need to do 3 things really, really well. So number 1 for me is going to be content creation. Number 2 is going to be product development, and number 3 is going to be innovation and next steps, right? So for you right now, wanting to look about and think about is like, what is your genius zone, right? You might be a coach right now, so coaching clients is going to be a really important part for that. So for example, when you're looking at content creation, right, I have video editors, I have people who help me post on social media, I write all my captions, I write all my scripts, I write all that type of stuff. But when it comes to any form of editing and posting, that's time out of my day that I can outsource to someone else. So number 1 is going to be looking at delegation. So delegation is not anything else other than how do I stay in a better position to scale by focusing on the right things. Delegation isn't a case of going, woo, I can suddenly stop doing everything. Like, I'm more busy now than I've ever been before. But that's just because the more time that you gain back, the more stuff that you realize you need to be focusing on building. So number 1 is looking at delegation with the core frontation of thinking, how do I stay in my genius zone? What am I doing on a day-to-day basis at the moment, which is taking me away from what I need to do for myself and for my business? Number 2, right, this is one specifically for me, right? So I basically have Wednesday, right? Every single Wednesday for as long as I can remember, that's my CEO day, right? This is not a day where I just go, right, I'm suddenly going to go to the beach, or I'm going to go to cinema and I'm just going to chill for today. It's not like that in any way, shape or form. This is about, on a Wednesday, this is my day where I have no contact. So as you can see down at the bottom there, it says no contact. So on Wednesdays, this is where I will film YouTubes, where I will film content, where I will script content, where I will do program development, where I will film videos. But this is one day in my diary per week where I have no contact with anyone else, because that's my day where I have to get shit done for my business, right? And get shit done for me based on what I need to do, right? One of the biggest problems that I see with people running at bigger figures and moving to bigger figures or even lower figures is they're not having that direct time on their business every single day. I cannot, out of all the things I'm going to speak about today, guys, I cannot begin to express the importance of that. One day per week where all you do is focus on your business development, your content creation, growth and innovation. Nothing else comes in. No client communication, no team communication, no nothing, right? One day per week, and it's the first thing that I say to CEOs who are looking to push up to big numbers, and I turn around and say, what day are you going to do all the stuff that I need you to do? What day are you going to do all the stuff that we need you to do? So important. So number 2 is make sure that you got one day per week where you just focus on getting shit done for your business. Number 3 is a mindset. I've been in this situation before where I've been like, right, chasing more. And I was burning out and losing fulfillment with my company. And this was a fair few years ago. In the last probably 2-3 years, I basically switched my mindset going, well, I'm not really bothered if it is not more. All I care about is it better. All right. So as one example, I came off a marketing meeting with my team this morning and I said, right guys, so we need to tighten up ads because based on what we're discussing there, we've done a bit of a trial with call to actions and that's not really kind of gone as planned. Right, that's fine because you've isolated that, but now we can move into this week where we can obviously put out better call to actions, we can better opt-ins. We look like we've been off the ball with the scheduling on the emails, so can we tighten that up again so we're better for next week? When it comes to YouTube, I'm going to be looking, well, you can see today, this is a real example, right? On my YouTubes, I'm going to set up a proper lighting setup, so have better quality videos coming into May. When it comes to content creation, we'll look at a different location, right? We've just got this mindset where it's like, right, I'm not bothered about everything performing and being amazing and brilliant all the time. All I care about is, are we becoming better? If we're becoming better, we're doing it right, and over time that will compound into success. And I've seen it time and time again. The next thing from that one is looking at team systems, right? So the first thing that you need to be looking at doing, guys, is getting yourself out of acquisition and sales, right? Because that is going to take up a substantial amount of time for you in terms of building, formatting, launching lead magnets. You've got the follow-up, the DMs, you've got setting, you've got outbound, you've got inbound calls, you've got sales, right? So what I would highly recommend that you do is you get yourself into a position where you are fully skilled in these areas of setting and sales and lead acquisition and nurturing and everything else on that front, and then you start handing that over, because that there is going to be a massive one. What in essence is a system that can be delegated out. Exactly the same when it comes to content creation. If you're spending hours and hours and hours and hours editing and formatting your reels and your YouTubes or whatever, then that's going to be a great place for you to look at actually hiring and getting a system behind that, because it's going to enable you to focus on your genius zone at all times. From that point, balanced output, right? So I'm not a massive fan of the word balanced, but it's also a big lesson that I've learned in the last few years, that when I feel like I've got a really intense period of work, I need to make sure that I've got something matched where I've got downtime recovery after that. So this is also not just in terms of your actual business as well, guys. Like, I'm sure a lot of you will be looking at bodybuilding competitions or looking at like fitness comps or high roxes or whatever. If you've got like a massive comp, for example, coming up, then you need to make sure that you've got that balanced output with input, where if you've got a seriously high stressful period of time, have a day, have 2 days to make sure that your body decompressurizes, your mind decompressurizes, and you're ready to rock and roll coming back into it. So I was supposed to film these YouTubes last week. I came in, I'd just climbed Mount Toubkal, really good trip, 4,200 meter elevation. I did my content on Wednesday. I was like, I've not got the energy to do this. I'm doing 14 YouTubes today. So all I've done is I had a half day on Friday, Saturday and Sunday completely off, coming in Monday, feeling fresh, ready to rock and roll. So important to never force something. If you've got high output, make sure that you are balancing it. The next one is looking at glorification, right? Glorification of basically, I'm working loads of hours, right? It's a mindset that you need to drop straight away, that this is not just about working as many hours as possible and working as hard as possible. This is about getting shit done, right? So I have no glorification for the amount that I work. I have glorification based on the results that I have achieved with people, myself, or what I have delivered. That's just basically a mindset you need to have, because if you are in a position where you're going, right, well, I'm just going to work loads and loads and loads and loads of hours, that's the fastest way to get to burnout. Where if you have a mindset of going, I need to do this to get to X, Y, Z task. If I complete those tasks, and then I'm going to deliver on that, and if I deliver on that, I'm going to get X result. Think in an objective mindset when it comes to this, because subjectively it's just a case of you might be going, just need to work more hours, just need to work harder, just need to do this. And in my experience with myself and many other people, it's not about that. This comes down to simply just getting shit done. Do not glorify working hard, glorify getting shit done. Staying 1 month ahead. Out of all the areas, I'm smoothing this camera a bit, out of all the areas that I would say that has helped me the most, it would be this. So when it comes to writing emails, I will write emails 4 weeks ahead. When it comes to creating YouTubes, I will create YouTubes 4 weeks ahead. When it comes to creating content, I will do everything 4 weeks ahead. So I have this time blocked into my diary, so it just means that once I've done these YouTubes today, I don't need to worry about them until May. Then same from May until April. And I'll always kind of have this 30-day format ahead, because in my opinion, if I'm trying to scramble doing content and writing emails and creating YouTubes on a week-to-week basis, it's going to get in the way definitely my genius zone of what I need to do to manage my own team, develop products, run live calls for clients and everything else. So one of the biggest areas for me in terms of avoiding burnout has definitely been heavily staying 1 month ahead at all times. Next up is tracking energy for everyone, right? This is not even just about burnout. This is about maintaining motivation, inspiration, fulfillment, and everything else that you've got inside your company. This is something that I really heavily focused on in 2024 and coming to 2025, where I was like, right, let's look at less on the output, let's look at the less of the result. How is everyone feeling? Does everyone understand this situation? Does everyone understand what they need to do doing next? So tracking energy is so important, because what you find is when you've not asked these questions and you've got yourself or you've got clients or you've got team where there's loads of output, loads of work going down all the time, but you're not actually in touch with how someone feels, that's a really, really fast way for problems to start to happen. When problems start to happen, that's where you have to put a lot more time, energy and effort into it. And when you're doing that, you're going to get to burn out really, really, really fast. So what I want you to take into account is to start having a lot more kind of intuitiveness to basically ask questions about how people are feeling within your team, how clients are feeling, because problems and conflict is what will lead to burnout. When you are in a happy business and you've got a happy life and a happy family and a happy team, you rarely ever hit burnout, right? You hit burnout when shit starts hitting the fan. So go out of your way to track people's energy. Start asking how they actually feel. And then the top one, which, and I'm sure that you've been told this so many times, but say no. I say no to my friends, to my family, to my team, to my clients, to loads of people on a week-to-week basis, where, and it's not just a case of being rude, it's just a case of going, I can't do that because I've got too much on at the moment, or I can do this for you, but I need you to do that part, right? As a director and as an entrepreneur, you'll always want to onboard and do. Whereas sometimes you need to turn around and say like, look, no, I can't do that at the moment. I've got too much on my plate. I'll look at that when I get around to this point. Yes, I will do that, but it's going to come after X, Y, and Z. Saying no is really, really important. I had one of my mates who messaged yesterday going, oh, we're all going out in Liverpool. I'm not drinking at the moment, but I've got this trail run in summer and I want to get to that point. And I was like, look, I've got this trail run, I've got a lot going on with business right now, so I'm going to give that one a miss because it just sounds like a heavy night out and I don't want to feel rough. That one night there, if I'd have potentially gone out with the pressures of everything that I'm doing with my fitness and with business at the moment, it had really, really got in the way of things. And then finally is this one. Build a life that your business supports. I'm going to say that slowly. Build a life that your business supports. That is the number one way to avoid burnout in business, by making sure what you are actually doing is building the life that you actually want. It's building the thing that you want from all this. It is not just doing this for the sake of it. It's not getting up at 4 a.m. and going to bed at 11, 12 p.m. and working 16-hour days. That's not building a life that you want. So when you're looking at that type of question, that will decide who you delegate and why you delegate, because it's doing the shit that you don't want to do so you can stay in your genius zone, right? It's when you're building a life that you want to have that CEO day because you want a full day work on your business because you know how important it is to do. And then from that point, again, you start chasing better, because that's all we're looking for is the life and business cohesion and synergy and equilibrium, which is such an area that people commonly forget about. Like, if you legitimately really enjoy all this, like you can probably see that I do, you'd really rarely ever get hit burnout. You really don't. I'm going to be completely honest with you. So your life is so important. If you want to travel, if you want a fancy car, if you want a nice house, if you want to have more freedom, if you want to get up at 7 a.m., if you want to get up at 4 p.m., whatever it is, whatever design you have for your life of what you want to live, we need to make sure that your business supports that at all time, guys. And that is in essence where I would love to come in and show you, because there is not a single thing associated with online fitness businesses and personal training fitness businesses that I have not seen over the years. And obviously our main profile is that kind of, we will support you with content acquisition and sales, which is going to be the core foundations to see success in all other areas. But again, with our community, with the group, with the Propel Project, Propel Program, we help people with all of these areas, because it's all of these areas what enables someone to maintain a content production system, maintain sales systems, maintain lead generation systems. Because if you are burnt out, you're no good to anyone, right? So I hope that you enjoyed this YouTube video. I really enjoyed doing it. This is legitimately like quite a lot of direct stuff that I use in my own business. So I hope that you've found it really, really helpful. The top 2 things that I really want to take away from this, guys, is the CEO day. CEO day and the building a life. Yeah. CEO, no, 3 actually. CEO day, so 1 day per week where you just focus on your business alone and development. Number 2, staying as far ahead as possible with planning and delivery. And number 3 is whatever decisions that you make for your business, you're doing it with the intention to actually build the life that you want out of this, guys. So again, really, really enjoyed this one, and I will see you on the next video. If you're not subscribing, drop it a subscribe.